Hey guys, today we're going to work on multiplying with decimals. What I love about this is that none of the steps are different from regular multiplication until the very end. So let me show you what I'm talking about. We're still going to start with the smallest place value, the one that's over on the right. So I'm going to take this 8 and multiply it by this 7. 8 times 7 is 56, so I'm going to write down the 6 and regroup the 5. I'm going to do 8 times 2, which is 16, plus this 5 is 21. There's nowhere to regroup the 2, there's nothing over here, so I write down the whole 21 in my answer. Remember that I really like to get rid of this so that I don't get confused. Now let's take a look at the next step. I need to move over and multiply out this 1. So anytime I move to the left, I'm going to need a placeholder down here. So I'm going to put a 0 in my answer. Now I can multiply out my 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 7 is 7. And 1 times 2 is 2. Now that I have those, I can go ahead and add them up because there's nothing left to multiply. Okay, now here is the last thing that you have to do. You notice I haven't even paid attention to my decimals. You don't have to do a single thing with your decimals until the very end. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to look in my problem and see how many numbers come to the right of a decimal. There's 1 here and 1 here for a total of 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. So in my answer, I need 2 numbers to the right of the decimal. So I'm going to grab my invisible decimal that's in the back, and I'm going to move it in 1, 2 spaces, and drop it off. So my answer is 4.86, or 4 and 86. Ooh, that looks like crazy handwriting. 4 and 86 hundredths. Let's do another one. $52.4 times 1.6. Okay, same thing. The first thing I'm going to look at is the smallest place value, which is the one over on the right. So I'm going to take 6 times 4, which is 24. Write down the 4, regroup the 2. 6 times 2 is 12, plus the 2 is 14. Write down the 4, carry the 1. 6 times 5 is 30, plus the 1 is 31. There's nowhere to regroup the 3, so I write it down in my answer. Remember, I like to get rid of these, clean house, make mama happy, so we don't get confused. Now that I've finished multiplying that out, I can move over and multiply out my next place value. When I move over, though, I always need a placeholder in my answer. So now I'm going to multiply 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 2 is 2. And 1 times 5 is 5. I'm finished multiplying out, so now I can go ahead and add them up. Again, I've completely ignored my decimal, and so now my very last step is I just need to count how many numbers come to the right of a decimal in my problem. I have 1, 2 to the right of the decimal, so in my answer I'm going to start at the back at the invisible decimal and I'm going to bring it in 1, 2 places and drop it off. My answer is 83 and 84 hundredths.